What are we doing? It's just me. Solo vlog. Na 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 na.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ooh. Na 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 na.
So I co-host a monthly show in Portland, Maine at Empire called Nitecap with my best friend Krister Rollins. And I thought to myself, hey, you know what'd be fun? Let's go to the inner workings of the most ridiculous comedy show in Portland, Maine. First, I need to get myself cleaned up from work. So let's do that. Realized that I had a splinter. I didn't know that I could not know that I had a splinter. And that is interesting. We've been running this show for maybe about 6 months. The whole purpose of Nitecap in Portland, Maine, held at Empire Monthly, is that it is a variety show, kind of new school take on old school form. You know, Johnny Carson, David Letterman, stuff like that. We usually have music acts. Music acts have included a list here. Comedians have included, and interviews with people, of which in the past we have interviewed, and it's a lot of fun. I need to get all my stuff ready to go, so I'm going to take you along with me. I prefer a super minimalist setup. I like to be able to fit everything into a backpack and go to the gig. Gear is as follows. Laptop, because everything happens on a computer these days. Interface. This is how the music gets from my laptop to the PA. This is a Gen 1 Focusrite. This is not the Generation 2. The preamps on this are almost gone, and it barely works, but it's a workhorse, and it keeps on trucking. So thank you very much, Scarlett Focusrite. Focusrite by Scarlett. Scarlett by Focusrite. Whatever. Keyboard number 1. This is a K-board by Keith McMillan. I love this thing. It is indestructible, and it works like a charm. It absolutely makes sure that I can play weird stuff 100% every single time. It is starting to fail, but I have owned it for roughly about 3 years. Akai MPD 218. This is basically just a MIDI controller, and I bought it so that I could get the MPC software that came with it, so that I could do looping, drum machine, and song creation on the fly with this piece. USB hub. It's tiny. Smattering of cables. Headphones, so I can hear what's going on before other people can. Mwahahaha. Tambourine, but I'm not bringing that. Also, this is the Scubio or Fortress of Duditude, depending on how you'd like to call it. This is where I get most of my creative projects done when I'm not in bed. Because I work on my laptop in bed, not because I'm not doing like the fortune cookie thing. It's always a mess in here, but I always know where everything is, and I'm always in the middle of about 13 different projects at any given point in time. Doors are at 6:30. It's time to go. And all that talk of everything that I need and everything that I have, almost walked out the door without socks. Crushing it right now. And late. I absolutely love living in Portland. I hate the parking. This might be the luckiest parking situation I've gotten in a very long time. Also, cool neon colors. Finally all set up, went through sound check. Do you want to grab a slice of pizza?
I'm good, actually. I just had some meatloaf before I came here.
Lame.
Not that one, though.
Super lame. So I can never actually remember. How long have we been doing this show?
This has been going on. The first one was in February, but we had a couple of months off.
Yeah.
August and September were gone, right?
Yeah, they didn't exist this year?
They didn't exist, yeah, we just skipped them over.
That was a presidential proclamation.
Right.
Like, yeah, not this year.
Not doing it, just don't feel like the heat. I don't want to deal with that. The tourists, the whole thing.
It is hot in Portland in those months.
Yeah. And it was humid this year. The whole thing is just...
Portland's version of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got a beer review on our hands right now. So this is the Foundation Lager.
Riverton Flyer.
Okay, I was way off on everything.
No, by Foundation, but the name of the beer is the Riverton Flyer.
I was really close on most things.
It's a Pilsner, 5.5%. It's got like an SRM of like 4.
What's the IBUs on that sucker?
It's not super bitter. Probably low.
Oh, okay.
It's nice. It's easy to drink. It's like a Pilsner should be. It's kind of. Do you want to try it there? Got that Christmas to it. A little bit of that sulfury bite. You get the bready, yeasty.
You know, I mean, it's got like a great mouthfeel.
Yeah.
It's got a great mouthfeel. It's got a great mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm. Like licking a duck, I want to say. You know how it is when you lick a duck?
No. Do you feel guilty not eating at the place where we actually do a show because there's a restaurant involved?
And they make good food.
Dodging the question. All right, this is my setup in a nutshell. It's pretty easy. I have a soundboard which is hooked up to the third bank of my MPD, so that way I can play weird drop-ins and stupid stuff and the theme song to the show and all that kind of stuff straight from there. It is also hooked into this MPC software, which is great. It has pre-written stuff that I've done before, as well as I can use the keyboard to make beats, while I also use my keyboard to control this software right here, which I have to say so far is my favorite standalone synthesizer software that I've gotten. Arturia makes great stuff and it's worked out really well. The other thing that I really love about it is that they only take a MIDI input from one thing so far. So that way I can set it to just get from the keyboard, and that way any MIDI signal coming from the MPD doesn't go to it. Why it's taken me so long to find software to do that, I don't know. I also tried Ableton for about 10 minutes and it didn't work out. So, great. That's the gear in a nutshell.
Bolton needs to go undercover to get it. And the way that they go undercover is Nick Cage is not dead, which is surprising. And they say that they've got the technology now to swap faces with Nicolas Cage. So these two people, these arch enemies, dies. And your horoscope, in an effort to shake you out of the same old point of view, the fates remind you that fruit bats are the spookiest bats if you are a grape.
Which, to be fair, I feel like I should have seen it coming with all the bras and panties on the floor, but like I have no idea what he likes. Maybe he just has lots of sex, has a big sexual appetite, sleeps with lots of girls, or maybe he likes a girls' night out every once in a while.
People will say, oh, but Gabe, they eat bugs. Do they? Do they eat bugs? Have you ever seen a spider actually eat something? Or have you just seen it, catch it in its web, wrap it up in its little shit silk, and then just leave it for later for you to walk into through a doorway and get really pissed off? That's a lot like if I had a roommate and I confided in him and I said, you know what, I'll eat all of the leftovers. You don't have to worry about it. We're not going to waste any food. And he said, that's great. And then instead of eating the leftovers, I just wrapped it up in my underwear and left it all throughout the apartment. And he had to go to all of his friends and be like, yeah, Gabe's a really great roommate. I mean, he takes care of all of the underwear and all the food inside of it. It's really, yeah, don't sit there. That's his food. He's going to eat that later. It's not really a big deal.
Thank you, Nick. You want to add maybe a few more minutes? El Chapo. That seems like I guess I wouldn't want to be on that jury. Why would anyone want to be on El Chapo's jury? Very cool guy, I'll say that here. Cool dude, got no beef with him.
F4s, and they've all lasted like 150,000 miles. So that's a really good, long-lasting car.
I had a Toyota Yaris. That was the first car that I bought for myself, and that lasted. I had it for 5 years, and then I sold it to somebody. I took it up over 200,000 miles, and it was an easy car to drive. Even though it was kind of dinky looking, and I'm a big guy, it was fine. I wouldn't live in it.
Sorry. It gets dark at 4 now. I'll just play sad songs for the next 6 months.
Nitecap. Yeah, we capped it. And now we go to what we do every time.
Try to conquer the world.
Pinky.
Hey, that was my worst impression.
Is this my napkin?
Yep.
Thank God.
This is not the song from the pottery movie. Ghost.
She's trying to validate her position. She's trying
You might know the chorus.
She's chiming in because she wants everyone to think like she has
Remember when we saw that monkey in the reflection on the door?
That was a good bit.
That was a good.
Why is that? Because they're.
Was he weird or hammered? Or both?
Definitely hammered.
Definitely.
Maybe weird.
Maybe weird. He looked like somebody. But who's the guy I'm thinking of?
Crispin Glover? Probably not.
No, he had the same energy as Crispin Glover. No.
I was just thinking of Crispin Glover in the David Letterman interview.
I just.
Which is also weirdly the Jean-Claude Van Damme Arsenio Hall interview. Also, like, how cool do we look right now if we just get, like, all right, now we just need to go like this. Great.
Dude, I'm going for the hug. Pleasure as always.
Pleasure as always. Great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did it. Great night. Good friends. See you next time.